So let's go to our first topic is the economy, Smarty. The economy. Scott Bessent on Meet the Press yesterday talking a lot about the economy. And then the president got asked about the price of beef yesterday. I don't know, is this when he was coming or going on his way either to or from the U.S. Open? Here's Donald J. Trump on beef and prices and tariffs 103, please.
Mr. President, the price of beef continues to rise and other items keep going up. Is there any way to address the cost of beef?
Yeah, once it kicks in, once our policies kick in, the price of beef will be going down, just like the price of eggs went down and the price of a lot of other grocery items went down. Beef will go down. It'll all go down. Energy has gone way down. The price of gasoline has gone really, I think you'll be hitting $2 very soon. And it was $4.50 a little while ago. So energy's gone way down. That brings everything else with it. But beef has gone, as you know, for other reasons. The price of beef has gone up a little bit. It'll be coming down.
So every Democratic candidate in the country, both incumbents and people running for open seats and challengers, is trying to own the I can make viral videos like Mondami, but not be a socialist lane to try to get earned media coverage and raise money online. One of the most touted so far, a Democrat who often goes viral, Michigan Democrat Mallory McMorrow. Here is the video she put out over the weekend, pegged to the beginning of football season, which everybody seems to love. 104, please.
Football is back, and 7 hours of commercial-free football
Whopper, 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 Whopper
is not. This is just the latest example of corporate greed ruining the things we love. Because it's not just commercials on TV. It's also your grocery store run, where chicken wings are going to cost you 19 bucks. Or a bag of chips, $5. Even beer is getting more expensive. It's a 1-2 punch. Tariffs that are making everything more expensive, and corporations that are squeezing every last dime out of us. And if at some point this season you're headed to a game,
you can watch the whole thing. You watch the whole thing online, and it goes on in that vein. Populist, anti-Trump, pro-consumer, talking like a normal person. You're going to see a lot of that, although not everyone can pull it off the way Mallory McMorrow can. Larry, yes. On Friday, Dan and I went a little anti-Bessent on the economy. Neither of us, I can tell without having talked to Dan, were wholly reassured by the Treasury Secretary's pledge on Meet the Press that everything's just fine. Are the fundamentals of the economy strong, or is the data of last week beginning to cause you to go a bit wobbly, at Lady Thatcher might say?
Well, the jobs number was a little jarring, but I think that Bessent was magnificent over the weekend, explaining it and sort of putting it in perspective with some of the positive numbers like GDP growth, et cetera. But what you saw from Trump there is, this is right out of the school book of Barack Obama and Joe Biden, the first year of their administrations when the economy was somewhat soft. You blame the last guy and you got to, hey, just be patient, wait for our policies to kick in. Meanwhile, he is right about energy. And my understanding is energy is sort of a leading indicator, while beef and other products are sort of lagging indicators. When you get the energy costs down, that has a ripple effect and a domino effect, but it's not immediate. But eventually, because energy affects everything else, including a bag of chips and a bag of wings, the other costs will come down, but you start with energy, and that's what this administration's done.
Larry, are you thinking, Scott Bessent, that this is a fourth quarter thing or a Q1 of next year thing when things will actually be better, when I won't have to say when I go to order my lunch, I'll have some low energy for lunch?
Yeah, I don't know, but I know that the administration's hoping that it's a Q4 thing because that also coincides with Christmas shopping and all of the Black Friday numbers. And they want to have a success story and they want to have it soon.
Dan, I know you hope the economy booms, but I also know that you don't think it's going to, correct?
I honestly don't know. I mean, yes, I obviously hope it does, and you don't want to be cheerleading for it to tank. And I think Larry hit it, which is you hope that the best answer they have is judge us not today, but judge us tomorrow, and kind of try to move those goalposts. I think the voters are not, they haven't lost patience, but they're antsy. And you see this both in kind of economic data and in political data. I think if things start to turn around by January and people have a good holiday season, then Larry's right. They'll get credit. They'll say it just took a little bit of time. But if it doesn't, and people are still struggling and more inflation starts to pick up and job losses start happening, then the opposite happens. They say, throw the bums out. And in a midterm, it's very easy, right? You can't take it out on Trump. You take it out on the person on the ballot.
Larry, the Wall Street analysts who not that long ago were predicting recession at a pretty high percentage probability are back talking about either recession or stagflation. Do you rule those out? Do you rule out that there'd be stagflation or recession?
Well, I think it depends on the interest rates. And listen, Trump has been very smart from day one, setting up the Fed as sort of some will call it a scapegoat, some will call it a straw man. Others will say that he's been very
I'll go with foil. How about foil?
a useful foil. And one could argue that the Fed has sort of played right into this. Mr. Powell has sort of been led right into the narrative that Trump wants. And so a lot of people were jumping up with the jobs numbers saying, yeah, this is why we need the interest rate cut. It wouldn't have happened if we had the interest rate cut. And I think there's some validity to that.
Well, but I mean, again, I go back to Powell's job is to look at the data. And as the data has gotten worse, they've shifted. The challenge with cutting rates, and we're I think about to find out, is does inflation then start to pick back up more? Because it's already slowly starting to reaccelerate. And that's the $1 million question. Can they juice the economy without inflation being touched?
Right. All right. We'll obviously keep talking about this forever, including up through the Fed meeting. That was a delicious video experience. I think you'll agree. Now, what you need to do in return for getting to enjoy that is hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss a thing.